everybody.
Welcome to Twinset and Purl's 10th podcast. Oh, wow, 10 podcasts, can't believe it. So let's say a warm welcome to all our returning viewers and to any new viewers. I'm Jo.
I'm Rachel.
And together we design knitting patterns as Twinset and Purl. Today we've got quite a few things to share. We've got some exciting news at the beginning, and then we've got some FOs, some whips, and quite a lot of acquisitions. So but we'll do that at the end. So if you're not into the acquisitions, you can skip before we get to that.
Yeah.
But the first thing we're going to share is our winners.
Are we?
So
we
have.
I thought I was going to say thank you.
Okay, say thank you.
Just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who bought our patterns last week, or the end of last week of June. We managed to raise £305 for Mylomi UK, and it's just so special to me that anybody would want to buy my pattern and support such a worthy charity. Anyway, thank you everyone, and the patterns continue to, all the proceeds go to Mylomi UK, so off and on we'll publish, maybe say how much we send to them, but just for transparency and all that. Anyway, Jo, we're going to announce the winners, so I'm going to talk about your new shawl. I'll hide it under here.
Let's
talk about the winners. Right, so the
our...
cowl's finished. The crest cowl, which lasted for 3 months, can't quite believe it, finished at the end of June. But if you did sneak your FO in after that, it's fine, because I don't know how to close the thread. So we didn't have too many FOs, like 17, but that's still exciting, and it's our first cowl. And so we've got 2 prizes for the cowl.
Yeah. We've
picked one from Instagram, hashtag crest cowl FO, and one from the FO thread on the Ravelry group. So Jo will...
This is for the Instagram winner.
Yeah.
Who is...
Oh, the winner on Instagram is Cinnamon Butterflies, and she's called Catriona.
And she's going to win the lovely project bag from
Tizzy Quilts and Crafts, and beautiful butterflies.
A lovely sock set from Fibre Fox, and then a little added bonus, she gets one of my progress keepers, which don't get sold anywhere. So
yeah,
small but unique bit of the prize.
Cinnamon Butterflies, we will try and contact you on Instagram, but if you could send all our information is in the description box below, and our email's there. If you could email me your address, I will get that out to you ASAP. And
we obviously will pay the postage and packing,
yeah,
but we can't be responsible for any import charges.
Unfortunately, we can put it as a gift, but that's beyond.
If you have to pay import.
I had one lady who gave me lots of grief, so please don't give me grief, it's a prize.
Yeah, so anyway,
the next
prize is for
the Ravelry
group winner,
and the Ravelry group winner is Anvita Sinha, who's Anvita, and she knitted a lovely bandana cowl.
Yeah,
so I had quite a good chat with her. She's going to
be receiving a sock set from Dyed by Dells, which is on a sparkle base, and a lovely bag from Eldenwood Crafts. Thank you very much, Emma, for giving us this. It was the first prize that was sent to us from our podcast, and then she'll also get a little progress keeper.
Oh, I really want the bag. So
the trials of being a podcaster, you have to give away the lovely things.
Anvita, hopefully you'll watch this, but we will contact you in the Ravelry group and get your your address, and send it your prize ASAP.
And then the last prize, we've started a thread in our Ravelry group if you're knitting any of Twinset and Purl's patterns, and you post, it doesn't have to be FOs, just
we just pick somebody
we'll
every
pick
month.
somebody every month, not every podcast, but once a month we'll pick somebody and we will
Send them a prize.
send them a prize. At the moment we don't have a lot of prizes, so we're donating prizes from our stash.
So, but if anybody is a maker and they would like to donate something to the, so I keep kicking the table. Sorry everyone. Yeah, if you'd like to donate a prize to
The
the podcast, we're very grateful.
Yeah.
I do have quite a lot of stash I could
Yeah.
give for prizes though.
So this month we are giving a prize to Sweetbasset, who is called Terry, and Terry is knitting the
silver dollar
bandana cowl. So I mentioned it on the podcast. It doesn't actually exist as a pattern, but through Ravelry messages, Terry and I have helped Terry work out how to turn the silver dollar shawl.
You're going to write a
Yes,
pattern?
I am. And I've got taking a few Fridays off in July to get some patterns written.
Oh, great.
So yeah.
I was going to say something then.
Anyway, Terry's prize
yeah.
is a skein of Copeland yarn, sock yarn, called and in colourway Purple Haze.
Beautiful.
And Terry will also be getting some of my stitch markers and a progress keeper. So that's a little prize for.
So we'll contact you I'll contact you on Ravelry, but if you're watching, let us know. Well, hopefully you'll also see on your message.
Yeah.
But I know I don't check my Ravelry messages very much, so
yeah,
I fully accept other people will not be on the ball either. Right, so what I was wearing but I got too hot was Jo's new shawl design, which came out. So it's not the newest design, but it's the newest release.
Yeah,
came out
it was released yesterday.
This is the Trillion shawl.
So we've shown it before on the podcast.
So we won't talk too much, will we?
Yeah, we won't go into the details. If you go back a couple of episodes, it's all there. The only thing I do want to say is that the yarn is a collaboration with the Wool Kitchen, Helen,
beautiful
and
yarn.
her mohair. Her yarn is beautiful, but in particular her mohair is just to die for. And she has dyed up some different coloured kits for the release of the pattern. So if you check out her website, the details will be in the show notes. She's got some kits at the moment, and the mohair is just beautiful. I want all of it.
And there's a code until Sunday
to get 50% off the pattern. So the pattern is £2.50 with the code Trillion on Ravelry until midnight on Sunday.
And I will upload this later today, so we can.
Yeah, and after that there'll be the podcast discount, which is
podcast 20.
Podcast 20.
So that goes on forever, and all the information will be down below.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Cool. It's on page 1 of Hot Right Now on Ravelry.
I was just going to say that actually. Congratulations, Jo. It's exciting to get onto page 1.
Yeah. When you have a design that was in your head and then it's physically there, and then your testers, thank you so much for my testers who helped me explain it well enough for everybody. So now it's being shared with the world.
People are buying it.
Yes.
How exciting. Right. What are you wearing?
I am wearing my latest FO. It was a little new design that I'd started it before the last bonus episode.
Was it you talked about it in the bonus?
I talked about it in the bonus.
You won't talk about it too long.
No, the yarn. No, I'm not going to talk about it too long.
We're whipping through it today.
It's a tuck stitch pattern with a garter frilly lacy border.
It's beautiful.
It's knit in pure silk.
Reminds
knitting
me of
for
something.
Olive. Yeah, knitting for Olive, pure silk.
Like a cardigan Granny had.
Yeah. And the colourway is rhubarb juice.
The pattern's beautiful.
I am I'm about to start re-knitting the pattern in a wool yarn, which is going to be this, which is called The Sea of Adventure. It's by Giddy Yarns. I've had it for quite a while in my stash, but I'm going to knit it in that because the pure silk doesn't have any give in it, and I want to see what the pattern is like with a stretchier
Yeah, because people will knit.
People will knit it in
all sorts of things, won't they?
So once I've knit a little bit of that, I also need to film a video of how you start the shawl, because it is, I can explain it, but I can guarantee.
Well, that's exciting, because up until now, she's made me do all her videos. So everybody.
Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, it definitely needs a video explanation.
Lovely.
So, yeah.
Right then, let's move on quickly to FOs.
Yeah.
What have you got? Socks.
I've got vanilla socks in the Princess Wannabe colourway
brilliant.
From JoKnitSew.
I've got socks as well. My socks.
Yeah, so first pair of vanilla socks, loved it. Best airport knitting ever.
Have you got a pair cast on?
No.
Have you got that in your dream knitting?
No.
No. So these are the June pattern for the Botanical Yarn Sock Club, and they're called the Nemesia Carnival Socks because the colour, there's a mix of summer flowers that are called Nemesia. I can't, the range of colours is carnival, and this yarn is just, I don't think the actual yarn that got sent out was as speckle heavy as the one that I got, but you can see there's a lovely kind of lace with a twisted stitch that kind of moves, makes it go wiggly, if you know what I mean. The lace makes it go, and on the back is just like a ribbed of the twisted stitch.
Nice.
And yeah, so they came out in June, and it was in between, I think, podcasts or something. Anyway, and I haven't done it yet, but I can start selling the January socks this month. So I will put those on Ravelry when I get a minute. And they are the blue pearl socks, I think, crocus socks. Anyway, I will maybe talk about them on the next podcast so people can see. Right. Have you got no more FOs?
I've got no more FOs.
I've actually got 2.
Show off.
So I finally finished. I haven't blocked it though, unfortunately, podcast world. I kept meaning to yesterday, and I wish I had, because it would have dried, and it will dry really quick. But this is the Joe's Tolsano cowl, which I knitted in Stylecraft Recreate, which is a recycled yarn. I'm just going to pop it on. Oops. I love grey.
It looks like a real denim-y.
Yeah, whenever I go, I like it that big actually. Whenever I go shopping, my husband, I always reach for a grey cardigan. It's like, no more grey cardigans. But I can knit grey whatever I want. So yeah, so I love it. And for an acrylic-y, it's not 100% acrylic, but for that kind of yarn, it's so cheap. And I actually could have knitted 2 out of my 100-gram ball. It's lovely. Anyway. I know, we've got to carry on.
Seen Tolsano before, but nice that you've knit it.
Yes, I finally knitted it.
And did you enjoy it?
I loved it. When I got into it, I started off because you wanted me to knit, and was doing loads of other things, didn't have time, but when I got into it, I couldn't put down. So it definitely is, and I want a navy blue one.
And a really nice skiff knit, I think.
Yeah, really nice. And it would be quick, you could knit it in a weekend.
And
it's DK.
It's unisex as well. Some of my other cowls aren't so unisex, but that definitely
and
is.
And it's a DK weight.
I had a boy tester.
You did, and he talked about it on his podcast.
Anyway, in French.
Close your eyes, because this is a cast on since the last podcast.
Right.
Since the bonus episode. And I have knitted it in a week. Open your eyes.
Wow.
It's my I folded it up to hide it from you. It's the Yume top by Isabel Kraemer. And I've knitted it in Debbie Bliss Fine Donegal, which you can only get from Love Crafts now. And I literally,
It's beautiful.
So I'd started, I might pop it on actually. I'd started knitting it. I started using this yarn. I've had 2 balls of the yarn, 200-gram balls. And I started knitting, I used it in my Nordiska. So I didn't weigh the first ball. So there wasn't 2 balls. So I knew, but I wanted a cropped, because I wanted to wear it with these dresses. I wanted a cropped one, but I actually managed to get a 9-inch. And I knew I wanted short sleeves, and I've only steamed it. I need to plop it properly. Can't speak
I don't know, I
today.
think you do. I think it's fine.
The yarn goes nicer though when it's. So I just stand up.
That's the same yarn as my plum, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is
lovely.
and I had that much left,
Wow.
and I was weighing and I got
Why did you keep it a surprise?
because I was knitting it, and I kept waiting for you to ask what I was knitting that was green, and you didn't ask me once all week.
I don't think I actually saw your hands.
Oh right. So anyway, so this is my Yume, and I actually might knit. I want to knit another one, a longer one to wear with jeans and stuff. And I've got a blue
You're gonna
Debbie.
knit smaller size.
Yes, I think it's too big.
What size? It's nice cropped with with some loose.
Yeah, it's M2, so I think I might knit M1.
Right.
It's on my dress now.
Lovely.
Yeah,
That's
so I like
beautiful.
it. So I take it off or wear it. Carry on wearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my FO.
All right. What are you going to do with that
And I
little
really
bit?
quickly, it's living in my stitchy platypus bag, which came all the way from America to my head.
What are you going to do with that little bit?
I'm going to keep it. 'Cause I keep everything. I'm a hoarder. You never know. You might need it in a little bit of colour work.
Yeah. Right. We're quickly moving on
Yes.
to FOs.
This yarn is lovely, by the way. It's got a bit of cashmere in it, and when you wet block it, it really blooms. That's
Yeah,
why I think I might wet block.
That's what my plum is in, isn't it?
Yes, it's lovely.
So I'm quickly going to show.
I want one in every
Anthony-
colour.
My
Are we doing
Anthony-
whips now?
Yeah. My Anthony sock. Done the heel flat and the heel turn, just picking up stitches. It was coming into the office with me, but the vanilla one came instead because it was simpler to do on. I can't do this bit on the when I'm on the phone. So yeah, that's Anthony. He's I'm knitting it out of Folklana Arvetta.
I'm sorry, I'm moving
So
around too much while you're talking. Anyone
but,
can?
yeah.
Anyone wants to know?
He's been mentioned before on the podcast.
Yeah, so all that information will be down below.
Okay.
So I'm going to show just only the whips that I've done some work on. So obviously I've got quite a few. I've got 3 shawls on the needles. This might become a bandana cowl. But I have done a little bit.
I think you'd wear it more as a bandana.
Yeah, I have done a little bit of work on my Ziggy. So I hate that when the needles run on them. So that beacon's beautiful, isn't it? So I'm nearly onto the second lace. So there might be enough for 2. So keep going on that.
Cool.
I actually was knitting it yesterday while I was watching Wimbledon, and I was really enjoying it. So
Yep. Next whip is my
sorry
Faye
everybody.
top. I've managed to get quite a bit
Oh,
done on
I
this.
love this colour. It's amazing.
So
I'm going to be borrowing this one.
So I've now joined in the round. I've got the front and the back, and it's got these really deep sleeves, which get a frill.
Have you got the picture? It's the flanksy.
Yeah.
What's that?
Pencil.
That was your crochet hook from
No,
that,
pencil
wasn't
and a crochet hook.
it? I mean, what is she using, people?
Sorry, it's been folded up quite a bit to fit in the bag, but it's this top, and it's got like flanksy sleeves.
And it's by Irene Lynn.
Irene Lynn. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. Getting better at the crochet bobbles as I go. There's now, each pattern repeat has 18 of them. But I'm absolutely loving it.
How much more length have you got to do?
I've got to do 5 more repeats of the pattern. So there'll be 5 more. It's actually, I don't know if I'm getting more rows per than the gauge, because that seems like a very deep armhole.
Yeah, but it looks like it is though.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to wear something underneath. Well, I'm going to have to wear something underneath anyway because it's lacy. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I try to split my day where I knit on this in the evening.
Yeah.
I knit on a sock or something small first thing in the morning, and then I do throughout the day.
Yeah.
I do sort of the sweater bottoms or mindless knitting, which I'm knitting something that I can't share yet because it's a surprise. So yeah, I've got one more FO, one more whip.
I've got two. So I've cast on my July self-striping sock. So I'm doing a sock challenge this year to knit a self-striping yarn sock every month. This month I've decided just to go vanilla because this is going to be my mindless knitting. And this is in season 8 from the Friends Club of Dotty Wool Company, which I bought each month last year. So I've just done a little bit of that. And this one's called Glow Like the Light from 1,000 Fairies. But it's beautiful. And my dad said he loves the socks that I sent him last month, self-striping. And he said he wanted these, but I was like, Dad, I want it.
Calm it.
Yeah, and I'm using this. This is the contrast, which is going to be the heel, just the heel, I think. And that came with one of the months. And I just want to quickly show actually my lovely little progress keeper. That's a little gem of some kind out. Some kind of semi-precious stone. Do you know what blue would be?
Sodalite.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see. And it came from, so Sophie gave it me as a present, and it came with this little star, progress keeper, and this little beaded one, because she knows how much I like blue. So I'm using those this month. And then I've got, so I'm not going to talk about, oh, you've got one more?
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay. Taking over.
So I went to visit some friends in Edinburgh, and one of my friends, Fiona, was wearing a cream outfit. She had a cream jumper and cream jeans on.
Right.
And I was like, I have to knit you a Morton Street in cream with something, you know, to go with your outfit. So I've cast on a Morton Street, and I'm doing it in this very, very deep stash.
Ooh.
I think we've worked out this is pre-husband. So we've been together 14 years. And it's artisanal alpaca silk lace.
That means it was first husband.
Yeah. And so they don't sell this anymore in yarn stores.
No.
They went online, I think, or I don't know if they even exist anymore. But I had 3 colours.
And they were £5 a skein.
£5 a skein, yeah. Tabby grey, vanilla cream, and light camel. So these are the 2 that I'm using at the moment, the light camel and the cream, vanilla cream. And then I'm going to be adding this grey with the cream, and then I'm going to do the border, the bottom section, with those 2 together.
Oh, lovely.
And it's lovely. It's alpaca and silk, obviously, sticking to itself a little bit, but it's
But it will go lovely with a cream outfit.
yeah.
And you made yourself some stitch
I made
markers.
myself some stitch markers to go with it.
Look at them. Just adorable.
I'll have to have some matching stitch markers.
You're
So hopefully
adorable.
this is my kind of vanilla sock now.
Yeah.
I've knit a Morton Street.
You need to take a photo of that for Insta. Look that in that bag and everything.
Yeah.
Was it surprise?
No, it's not as well. I can't remember whether I said I was going to knit her one, but yeah. That's my last FO.
So I've got one more and a new design that's an FO that I was going to maybe talk about, but I don't know. We'll see how we get on. We've got quite a few acquisitions.
Yeah,
to talk
we
about.
were going to try and keep it.
Yeah, half an hour. So anyway,
Talk about the new design next.
this was
time.
living in my So Yarnalicious. What is it with me and my L's today? Which Sophie procured for me at an in-person Yorkshire Yarn Fest. I love it, and I walk and knit with it. Although my new Hohi Knitters fanny pack is my favourite. So I've cast on another Musselburgh. I did knit one last year before Christmas, and I've decided it's by Isolde Teague, and she released an update where people wanted to knit it at a tighter gauge. So the original one I think went up to 7.5 or 8, maybe 8 stitches per inch. And I wanted to knit one. Last one I knitted it in sock yarn, but it was a bit loose, the thing. So I wanted to knit it on 2.5mm needles. And it's just it is another vanilla knitting, but now because I'm just knitting in the round. This is the colour Emerald from Botanical Yarns Yorkshire Yarn Fest 1 month with them. I think it might have been May or April, May. So I love it to go with my navy blue winter coat, and it might take me till then to knit it. But I don't know if you haven't seen the Musselburgh hat, it's when you knit like it's basically like a big toe, and you knit it until you get to a certain length, and then you just do decreases and you push it up inside itself. And it can also fold up. I wear
like
it
a watch cap.
Yeah, I wear it slouchy, but it will fold up, and that's like 4 layers of
when it's really cold.
Knitting on your
I tell you
ear.
when you need that. January in Edinburgh.
Or Edinburgh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's lovely, and I love the fact that it's the same gauge as my socks are, because I love that gauge. I love the little stitches. So I'm really enjoying it, and it hasn't had much love this week because things have been going on. But so I think that's it for. We've got dream knitting. Do you want to do dream knitting next, and then acquisitions last, so that people can go if they want to?
Yes. So my dream knitting contains a little bit of acquisitions.
Yeah.
Because I had to buy some stuff to go with something.
Of course you did.
So my dream knitting is to knit, and I can't remember the name of it, Lento. Lento
is the cardigan.
Yeah. Lento from Liner 12?
Liner magazine.
Liner magazine, which is a loose gauge top where you put 4-ply with mohair.
Like a love note.
Yeah, plain, very simple raglan, and that's what I'm going to knit out of these 2 yarns. So this yarn is Townhouse Yarns in the colourway Bright Side of the Moon, and I bought this at a yarn story the first time we ever went. So I don't know how long ago that was.
I think
it's a few years ago.
I think it was just after I had pneumonia. We went over there.
5 years ago then?
7.
7 years ago. And I have started stuff with it and like a lot of what I was knitting was lacy and stuff, and it just didn't go.
Yeah.
So I think that with this, I think it's called Moonstone.
I can't believe you bought that. That's what you bought.
Yeah.
And you didn't ask me if I wanted anything.
You knew I was doing it. We talked about it.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was not.
So I'm going to put those 2 together to knit a Letho.
That's beautiful.
Lento.
Lento.
Yeah.
Do you know who it's by?
No.
Well, it'll all be in the description
Jodie
box
from the Grocery
below.
Girls has just knit one, which is why I just
It will all be in the description
it
box
from.
below.
So that's going to be knit at some point, and then I've also acquired something to knit another one. I'm going to knit 2 lentos.
Right.
And this
lentos.
And this was also purchased in the same order because Kids Sale Drops had a sale.
That one's beautiful.
Warehouse, and I got that and that.
What colour's that one for?
I can't remember the colour. It's got a number, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's got like gold silk. That is beautiful.
So that's going to go with that to knit another
lovely
lengtho.
I like it now. I've lost my way. I can share stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
What's your dream?
My dream knitting. So, I don't know. You may remember my house.
Do we give enough details for people? Do you think or not?
Well, we'll put as much description as we can in the description box below, and if anybody has any questions, they can email me.
Okay.
Because I will answer, because that's the kind of person I am, as opposed to the kind of person you are.
Oh, thanks.
So, I know you've got a job. Right. So this is living in my Yarnicorn bag. It's going to stay in there. So on the last podcast, we talked about which I don't have anymore because Sophie took it, but my Halcyon Days cowl, which is in testing at the moment and will be released at the end of this month for virtual Yorkshire Yarn Fest. I want to knit another one. So I have had these 2 balls of Woolfolk tinned since my husband and I went to Seattle and Vancouver in 2018, I think, for my friend's wedding. We went to Vancouver for the wedding, but we went to Seattle first. And we went over to Bainbridge Island to Church Mouse Yarn and Teas, which is no longer, it's only online, isn't it now? And anyway, I bought them, and they were the only 2, wouldn't really be my colour, but the only 2 that they had 2 skeins of the same colour dye lot. Anyway, so I don't actually know what. So it's Woolfolk tinned, and it's like the height, like 100% Ovis 21 Ultimate Merino wool.
Ooh,
and
lovely.
It's in colour 1. As you probably could have imagined, it's going to be colour 1 because it's the palest.
Is it undyed, do you think?
Yeah. And I'm going to, so it's if you haven't seen the Halcyon Days, I designed it to go with Sophie from Botanical Yarn's new slub base, and it looked lovely, and it's like a chevron, stripes and eyelets with mohair shawl, but cowl, but it's just a straight cowl. It's not a bandana cowl. The new trend for Twinset and Purl. It's just a straight up and down one, but I wanted to knit like I don't really love slub yarn, if I put my hand on my heart. So yeah, so it's those and this Surrey.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Which was in the bargain bin at Truly Hooked at the Southern Wool Show, and I don't know what the colourway is or anything. To me, it looks
should be called Storm.
It looks like a baby owl to me, like a baby snowy owl or something. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to knitting that. I don't know quite when it's going to happen, but so you stripe those two, the ribbings in this one, and then you stripe those 2, and then the eyelets is in the Surrey.
That's lovely.
And you repeat. So, and it's going to be, and it is in, this is to me it's a memory. It's a yarn with a memory. So it's very special.
Yeah.
And now, are we going to talk about acquisitions? How much have you got to talk about?
So we bought some yarn together at the same time. When I did my drops sale purchase from Wool Warehouse, I also bought 2 balls of this to knit another Morton Street.
Number 8 or
number 9 or 10 or whatever. Anyway, I love the colour.
Yeah.
And I think that's called Mauve.
It's lovely.
And it is very mauve.
Oh, it goes with your...
So yeah, so that's that was the last
Just show these now, because that just goes with that. Just shows Jo's colour palette.
So I went on my trip to Edinburgh. I found these in the airport, and they're little Harris tweed coin. They're meant to be a coin purse.
Yeah.
But I think they make a perfect notions pouch, because that's a little deeper pocket. That's a little shallow pocket.
You can hold your scissors in there, can't you?
Yeah, and then that's a deeper pocket. But I love a bit of Harris tweed. I'm a sucker.
Yeah.
For some Harris tweed.
It's official.
So Rach, Rach got one that was closest to navy blue that I could find.
Gorgeous.
Love it. Cool. So while I was in Edinburgh, I had a little trip to Ginger Twist Studios, and I had been looking. I'd seen on the Amy Palco's podcast, she had a big segment in her last podcast where she was talking about summer tops and summer yarns, and they talked about this yarn, which is the Sweet Flax 4-ply, and it's baby alpaca, linen and silk. and that's undyed, I believe, au naturel. And I got 2 skeins of that. I'm really into cream at the moment, and I'm going to design a shawl in this. I'm hoping that the stitch definition is going to be amazing.
I'm distracted by my husband bringing the bins in. Sorry.
Concentrate just for a few more minutes. Yeah, so I got 2 skeins of that, and then I saw this and I was like, that's going to be another Morton Street. This is, the colourway is bourbon and water, and it's a lace weight yarn, splendid lace, and it's 55% superwash British blue-faced Leicester and 45% silk.
It looks very similar to the colours that you're using.
Yeah.
For,
Yeah, that one's going to be for me.
Oh, that's lovely.
So yeah,
cool.
So those were my Edinburgh trip. It was funny because I was staying with my friend Mandy, and Chris and I were staying with her, and she was like, oh, I'll come with you to the yarn store. I love that yarn store. So we're walking along, we're doing like the convoluted route Mandy's taking us till we avoid the main shopping thoroughfares in Edinburgh. And we get to a point and she's like, it's just around the corner. And I'm like, no, it's not. I said, I kept saying to you, it's over past Holyrood, down towards Leith, on the way you go to Leith. She's like, oh, she thought she was taking me to a shop called Kathy Knits.
Right.
And we weren't. So we left Mandy, that was near John Lewis, and she wanted to go to John Lewis. So we left her there, and Chris and I walked the next 15 minutes that it took us to get to Ginger Twist Studio. And it's a very small little shop. It's beautiful. They've got lots of lovely yarn. 2 customers at a time. So Chris, I thought he was just going to wait outside because I wasn't planning. I knew exactly what I wanted. Didn't think I was going to be very long. So there was a lady in there already who was getting help. So I was like, I know what I want. So I got my stuff. I was literally in there 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I came out, Chris is sat with a coffee and a massive cake at a cafe down the road, and he's like, oh, sorry, you're going to have to wait for me now. That doesn't happen very often. But yeah, so I managed to get exactly what I wanted. I would have bought some more of this if they'd had a colour, that colour on this, but they didn't have 2 skeins of any dyed.
Right.
But yeah, I'm big into the cream at the minute, so that's all right.
Yeah. So my first acquisition was a new yarn that I've never tried. So we have a little, it's not like this, like Aladdin's cave, but my local yarn store sells only commercial yarn. So I went there for a little visit because my in-laws decided I needed to go into town, bought me a coffee. It's very nice actually. So I saw this, Costa Rica by Katia, and it feels, it's navy blue obviously, my favourite, and it feels like cotton.
Yeah.
It's 100% acrylic. So, and it says it's DK.
It'd be nice for a baby knit.
It says to use 2.5 to 3 millimetre needles, but there's only 250 metres per 100 grams, which I think is odd for acrylic yarn. I thought I'd give it a go. I bought 4, hoping I could make a summer top with it. So that's that. And then I went along to visit my friend in his coffee shop, and I bought this bag, which I you might have seen a peek of before. He sells them in it's like a coffee shop and crafts, and this is one of Jill's bags. So I think I called her Jean in an earlier episode, but she's actually called Jill, and she makes lovely bags. And this is a Liberty William Morris.
That's beautiful,
and it's perfect, isn't it?
Lovely colour. Yeah. Are we going there later?
We can go there later if you want to. And then we placed an order together for, I was buying some yarn I saw this yarn from Lovecraft, and I told Jo about it, so she had to have some, and then we decided to buy some other stuff as well. Because my Edwina socks earned us a bit of money at the weekend. So this is Willow and Lark Poetry from Lovecrafts, and it's a DK. It's a mixture of merino wool, camel hair and acrylic microfiber, and mine's called Owl Grey, and I bought a sweater's quantity.
And what's mine called?
Sand, I think yours was called.
Sand. And I bought this for the body section of an Easy V.
Is it DK?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
If it's not, it'll become something else. But I'm into this neutral palette at the moment. So and then you'll see in a minute that I'm also not into neutrals.
Yes, because you can show it.
This one, I saw this and I was like, I've been looking for yellow yarn, and this is exactly what I needed. It's alpaca and wool. It's lace. It's lace weight. And I am going to knit. Think of this thing, this easy start. Mm-hmm. Oh, that must be an easy end then.
Is it starting?
Oh, does it come through the middle? From the middle. Anyway, and I'm going to knit a lace weight shawl. I've got 5, so 1,000 metres. And I can't see, I'm wearing my contact lenses today, so the colour is disco. I would say citron pie or something, but yeah, so I just want something, I might use the same stitch on a different shape, yeah, because I just want something squishy and big.
Yeah,
so see how that goes.
Yeah, see how long that takes you to knit.
Yeah.
So my other treat,
last things each now.
Yeah, we're nearly done. My treat was 2 skeins of this Lana Grossa Allura in colour 16, and it's cotton, merino wool and alpaca, and it's heavy lace, so 300 metres per 50 grams, so 600 metres.
Oh, Crest of a Wave shawl.
No.
That would be beautiful though,
I'd like to do a Crest of a Wave shawl in the bandana, in the traditional, so I'll follow the bandana pattern but just don't join it.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, because you put the pattern on. I'm going to do that. I was actually thinking of designing a shawl myself. Shall I do that? Or shall I knit this for a crest and something else for the shawl? Yeah. I'll persuade Sophie to give me something to design a shawl. Yeah, so that's
trying some new yarns, aren't we?
Yeah, we're trying a few. Yeah, because sometimes it's nice to get some, like,
and my last one is Lana Grossa, Cashmere 16 Fine, and it's a chainette construction. It's in this gorgeous pale olivey colour, and it's obviously got some cashmere in it. I can't find
5%, I think it was.
Yeah, so I think it's 10% cashmere, 10% polyamide, and 80% virgin wool.
And they had one.
They only had one, but there's 350 metres, 220 metres, so that'll make a nice bandana cowl of some description. Maybe just even garter, squishy.
That would be nice. You might use more yarn though for that.
Yeah. So, or a slip stitch or something. So yeah. So
that's the last one.
Yeah, I love it.
So thank you everybody for listening. If you stuck around for this long.
Thank you to everybody who entered our cal, and if you're one of the winners, please get in touch.
Everything will be in the
show
notes. Information will be in the show notes, in the description box below. And enjoy. If you're in the UK, or a lot of places are hot, warm, but especially in the UK, enjoy the hot weather while it lasts. We'll be watching Wimbledon finals.
Yeah. And
tomorrow, one of my friends, long time friend who now lives in Norway, is coming to visit. So
did you send us to the yarn store before she came over?
No, because I want to go to Oslo and visit her. So so that's our plan for the weekend. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.